गपशप के साथ तो एक कप चाय बनती है, मसाला चाय। इलायची, लौंग और दालचीनी, इसको कूट लें। उबलते पानी में डालें, इसके अंदर चाय की पत्ती और चीनी डालिए। बढ़िया मसाला चाय बनाने का मेरा एक छोटा सा राज है। ताजे दूध से बना रेनबो इवेपोरेटेड मिल्क। इसका रिच और क्रीमी टेस्ट चाय में जान डाल दे। ये हुई ना मसालेदार बात। रेनबो इवेपोरेटेड मिल्क, चाय का परफेक्ट मैच।
Rainbow Top Gun Season 3.
From modest beginnings almost 4 decades ago, the group headed by astute businessman Mahindra Patel has a turnover in billions of dirhams today. This diverse group is currently involved in trading, steel processing, manufacturing, and ship handling. They have taken over loss-making companies in the UK and the UAE and turned them around in a very short time. Welcome back to Rainbow Top Guns. We're here with Mahindra Bhai Patel, and we're going to find out how to acquire a company, how to optimize a company, what to look for when picking your top managers. Mahindra Bhai, what do you look for when going after an acquisition target?
Okay, to start with the nature of the company, what the company is doing, whether it fits into group philosophy or not. But if it does not, we don't touch it. If it does, we then look at it, the potential of the company. What are the problems? And once we identify that, we decide our strategy, how to turn it around. And once we go for it, we put the required resources to start with the manpower. Thereafter, of course, we look at the finance side of it and the marketing side of it. Selection of people, very important for us. So we then recruit people who are at the appropriate levels.
So when you look at the companies, you actually choose ones that are underperforming by choice? That's what you would prefer to go for and then optimize them?
No, what we do is, in most cases, we are referred to these companies by our bankers, by our auditors, by our legal advisors, who are aware of it. In many cases, the banks, existing banks. In some cases, we buy through the various embassies, approach us if we are interested in buying a company in a particular country from where they come from. And we look at that also. Then they assist us in acquisition.
Sure. For, say, the last 100 years, even more, companies have been valued mostly on what the present value of their cash flows are, or some derivative of that, correct?
Well, there is something called NAV, the net asset value of the company. And that will keep on changing depending upon the time and when you carry out the assessment. So we will look at the NAV of the company. I have a very interesting example of one of the companies we acquired in UK. This was also a company which was in business for a long time, but some of their major creditors went bankrupt. And that put this company into a serious situation, and they had only about a week's time to organize finance and give guarantee to their bankers and creditors that they have the possibility to do that. And we said, look, in 6 days' time, we cannot do nothing because we need to do the due diligence of the company, who are the people, what kind of business they're doing, what is their asset value, what are the possibilities to turn them around. But he said, look, then it's too late. So we took another route. We said, okay, let him come here. The person came here, and we agreed. We took some risk. We take some calculated risk always in business. So we took some risk, and we agreed that, okay, because he has to settle the dues within a day or two, we said we will take it on the basis that whatever is the capital we put in will be the capital of the company. Now, if the NAV of the company was, let's say, minus, which it was likely to be, then it would really mean that they will have to pay some money to us to buy that company. Technically, that's the way it works. So we said, look, you need to agree to this, because tomorrow we might acquire the company and you get nothing because the NAV is zero. So you have zero participation in the company as of now, right? And he said, look, if you want, I have no choice.
Right. So why, what are the mistakes that these other entrepreneurs or business leaders are doing that are letting them run into the rocks?
Okay, in most cases, overtrading.
Overtrading.
Yeah.
So what have been some of your biggest mistakes or misjudgments along the road?
Okay, we acquired a company in Belgium. I'll give you a specific instance now. We acquired a company in Belgium which was through the government, local government. It was an engineering company, very old established, tremendous marketing possibilities, but they had failed because of mismanagement. And so on the face of it, when we carried out the due diligence, it looked very attractive. And so one of the things we all looked, or the mistake we made, if we didn't go into the details of the trade union activities there and what kind of strength those trade unions have. And after we acquired the company, we were told that, look, we need to pay them for the last so many years of back wages. And we said, look, nothing to do with that.
You had huge payments and back wages that
Back
had to be
wages,
paid.
yes. Although you have acquired and you already got an agreement which says that it's a new setup now, we could get rid of all the people and bring new people. But we decided to keep people out of human considerations. Secondly, we didn't understand the culture of that country, that during August, they will all close down everything. In July, from 15th of July till 15th of August, we are closed, finished. Not one person will be there. It was a major problem for us. Never anticipated this.
And so in the end, did you get rid of the company?
Well, we continued for a while. We didn't want to panic because then that would have meant that we would have incurred loss.
Isn't debt a bit of importing Western business philosophy? Because when you look at the Western world, the capitalist system, they actually benefit from taking debt onto the company. They get a tax shield from the amount of debt they do. A lot of the strategy that the CFOs are using are debt-based strategies. And so you can run a risk of trying to adopt Western business philosophies in an Eastern market, and it doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah, it's very important to understand the way things work in individual countries where you operate. You cannot necessarily take it for granted that what is good for USA is good for UAE.
Every time I have a minister of agriculture or minister of trade coming in, I also ask him to show them around and see whether they will be able to carry out trade with the UAE. With that, the various ministers, Vietnamese ministers who were here were able to tell the government that they should promote trade with the UAE with such people like Mr. Patel.
From these 2 years, me and Mr. Patel, we made several trips to Angola, business trips. Mr. Patel made several agreements in steel, cake and banding, agriculture, rice and corn, in the province of Kwanza-Kubango and Londa South province and Luanda.
I met my wife when I was running an operation in my native place, and she was also working there with me. And we got married, and it's now a long time married, happy family.
Presented by Nokia, inspired by Cadillac.
This is not a phone to just capture beautiful things. This phone captures feelings. It memorizes dream machines and the goosebumps you got when they screamed. To record a jump into the unknown and relive the madness, the dry mouths, the exploding chests. Introducing the large screen new Nokia Lumia 1520 with a full HD display, full HD video recording and distortion-free sound capture. Don't just record, relive.
When you shoot for the moon, you build your courage, test your passion, and persevere.
Still looking very good.
The all-new 2014 Cadillac CTS, a bold journey.